Hi there, and welcome back to the ZeitMind Deep Dive series. In this episode, we'll focus on using the data that we've prepared in the previous video and try to find out if there's any way we can optimize our pizza place operation. My colleague Mario and I are running a pizza place close to the Kennedy Space Center, and we've been wondering for a while why we've been running out of ingredients at seemingly random days of the year. Our hypothesis is that it might be related to the SpaceX launches nearby and people coming to watch them. So let's have a quick look if that's actually true. Let's start by looking at the datasets we have available. So we have our inventory at the end of the day, which tracks the remaining ingredients, as well as a closed early time if we had to close our shop early. We have live pizza orders coming directly from our point of sale system, as well as SpaceX launches that we pulled in the previous episode from the API. So let's start by asking what our revenue actually is over time. So the agent just responded to us, and we can see it returned two columns, a date and revenue, which is exactly what we expect. We can also switch to the result tab, which is a text summary, but what I really care about in this case is a chart. So let's jump over there. We can see immediately that there's something weird before 2024 with our data. So let's change the focus a bit and instead just ignore all the data before the 1st of January in 2024. I'm specifically prompting the charting agent right now. So this will be a lot faster in iteration and will immediately show us a result back. Great. So we can see here now that in 2024, the pattern looks a lot more like we expect. You might be able to spot some seasonal pattern here, but more importantly, we can see what seems to be a weekly cadence, which is exactly what you would expect for a restaurant. Now let's also have a look at our SpaceX data. The agent just responded to us, and again we see two columns, a year and month column, as well as a launch count column. So let's jump over again to the chart tab and have a look there. The agent decided to do a bar chart, and in this case that's quite helpful because I can immediately spot there's quite a few launches across the year. On average it seems to be between 4 and 5, but we really have a very high peak in November, 11 launches. This really looks like it could have a significant impact on our pizza place because there's quite a few launches. So that's a great signal for us to continue further investigating this. The next question I want to ask is what actually the ratio is of SpaceX launch days where we did run out of ingredients. The agent just responded to us, and we can see immediately that the closed early ratio is 92.8%. So that's really significant and a great indicator for us to continue looking at this further and now to try to find out what the actual impact is. Let's now try to estimate what the actual revenue impact was because we had to close our shop early in the past. So the way I want to do this is ask the agent to estimate, based on the closing time on the launch day, how much money we actually end up losing because we had to close our shop early. I just asked the agent now to estimate what the revenue loss is because we had to close our shop early on SpaceX launch days. And I clarified how to actually estimate it. So I gave it a very simple formula to work out what the revenue loss would be, as well as clarified our opening hours. It can work out how much time we lost in the end because we had to close our shop. Our agent now estimated the revenue loss. So let's have a quick look at what that looks like. We have our launch date, the closed early time. We have the actual revenue on the day, the hours we actually ended up being open, the total possible hours, which should be the same every single time, and the potential revenue loss. So let's jump over now to the chart again. And in this case, it gives us a bar chart, which I actually don't think is that helpful. So let's ask it to show us both the revenue we made versus the revenue we could have made. Great, now our chart has been updated. We can see here now our actual revenues is marked in blue, whereas our potential revenue is marked in orange. Now we can see here that the actual revenue we made in the end is really a lot smaller than our predicted revenue. We obviously have some clear outliers here that will likely be caused by our very simplistic model, but there's definitely enough evidence now for us to want to fix this problem in the future. And that'll be the topic of the next video, how we can actually now predict our demand up front so we can order the right amount of ingredients. But with that, that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.